Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be carrying on with our work on geometry and we're going to be having a look at angles today in a bit more detail. Now, later in the year when you are back at school, we will look at angles in more detail. We've got a whole separate unit planned on angles where we'll get the protractors out and we'll practice drawing and measuring angles of our own. But while you're working at home and we're learning about shape, it's a good time for you to become familiar with different angles and their properties too. So we know that there are right angles, they are 90 degrees and they form those corners that we can draw the square inside. We also know that there are acute angles that are less than 90 degrees. And we know that there are obtuse angles that are greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180. Now, I found a really good and informative video for you to watch all about angles, which is just linked below. Once you've done that, there are two tasks for you to do today, and I will share my screen so that you know which ones I'm referring to. So the first activity that you're going to do is fairly easy, nice and simple. You are going to be working out whether the angles that have been shown are greater than or less than a right angle. Remember, a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. So you can work your way through this activity sheet, trying to work out whether the angles are greater than or less than 90. Now, you may need to either tilt your head if you're working on the screen or tilt your piece of paper so that you're looking at each angle so that one of the lines is flat, and then you can easily see whether that other line is it acute, exactly at right angle, or obtuse. But I don't think you'll have too many problems with identifying the different angles on that sheet there. Secondly, we've got a slightly more difficult sheet for you to do, which looks like this. Your task on this sheet is going to be to have a go at drawing some of these shapes. So the first one, for example, is a triangle. Now, you know that triangles are three-sided shapes. They come in lots of different forms. We can have equilateral triangles, we can have isosceles triangles, we could have scalene triangles, we can have right angled triangles. Now, your special requirement when drawing a triangle today is that all angles need to be smaller than right angles. Now, this is quite a simple one. You can just draw any triangle, but you need to make sure that it doesn't have a right angle. All of the angles need to be less than 90 degrees. Now, as you work your way through the sheet, they do get slightly more tricky. For example, down here where it says hexagon, your task is going to be to draw a six-sided shape and it has one right angle. So my advice would be to draw the right angle first, and that will be joined to two sides, and then you need to draw another four sides so that it forms one complete shape that has six sides in total. Now, these don't have to be regular, so your hexagon could look really wacky, and that's absolutely fine, so long as one of those angles is a right angle. And you can show me which one that you have intended to be a right angle. Even if it's not drawn completely accurately, you can show me that it's a right angle by drawing on that box inside to show that you were intending that angle to be a 90-degree angle. You might actually want to have a little look at some of the possible answers. Now, these are possible answers. They're not the only answers. You can see here that the person that has drawn these has marked on very clearly which ones are right angles. You might also want to mark on whether there are any parallel lines in the shape that you have drawn as well. But notice there it says possible answers. They are not the only correct answers. So you can have a go at drawing whichever kind of hexagon or pentagon or nonagon that you would like to, so long as you are following the special requirements that we have asked for. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So please watch the video below first, and then you can have a go at doing those two activities.